Alright, I've made this video 3 times. I'm trying to make this one without being so damn long-winded. I'm running this amp through a dim bulb tester, and this is to get us some protection in case this amp was to blow, because this is a very old amp, I think from the 30s, probably 1937. See, the tubes are starting to heat up. This is an old Gibson. Where's my flashlight? This is an old Gibson amp. You see, I got some little bit of work up there. You may be familiar with this. Now, this speaker has got a transformer. That's how it creates this electric field. It's not a magnet speaker. It's how they did it in the old days. You got one knob on this amp. It's a volume, and it works the instrument. I think that one there in the middle. This 6, I want to say, maybe L6, 6 V6s, I think is what this is. Old push-pull amp, I believe, if I remember right. Now, a few years ago, I got this amp, and I put a few electrolytic capacitors in there just for safety. But there's a lot of old capacitors left in there, and there's a lot of old resistors in there. I wouldn't gig this amp until you took it to a qualified amp tech and had some more of those old resistors and capacitors changed. I'll be playing today through a 1979 the Paul Gibson, which is a lot like the Les Paul, so it's going to sound much like what a Les Paul would sound through that amp. I'm going to give it a go to give you an idea of the tones of the old amp, but there is no bass or tone or volume. This is straight amplification, so most of the tones that you'll hear is going to be according to what this pickup, what these pickups can do on this guitar here. Let me try to figure out my wire here. Well, 1937. It sounds pretty decent. It's got a good spectrum. It'll get you in the highs, it'll get you in the lows. The size of that speaker, looks like probably a 12. Other than that, man, I'll talk about the shipping of this amp. I really don't like to ship old amps. I also, if you're into old amps, I have not only that, but I'm also selling this. This is a Bandmaster, a 1962 Bandmaster as well. So I got a video on that a few vids back. So take a look at that one if you're interested in this kind of thing. The amp itself is very straightforward. The tubes are not burning too bright, which is pretty good. It'll let you know that you're getting pretty close to the right voltages. Now I hadn't did an in-depth rebuild of this amp. This amp is just playing, and I got it sounding good, but that don't mean it couldn't use help from an amp tech. You may notice I'm working this through a dim bulb tester, and this just gives us a little protection. You don't have to run it through that. You don't need one of those, but it's always smart if you got old antique amps to give it as much protection as you can. And if something was to blow in that amp, it's good to run it through a dim bulb tester, because that bulb will take all that dead short instead of your transformer, and that's always a good thing. Here's the old logo. I can't say much about the covering. She's had I don't know how many years, from 37 to now, hard times. This is how they're supposed to look, and I worked hard to keep this amp looking like what it is. And this is an old antique amp. The old handlebar mustache is kind of letting go. I would never pick this amp up by this handlebar mustache. I cradle it like a baby when I pick it up. As all my old amps, never trust the handles. You can see some of the covering's gone, but there's a lot of history in this amp. There's a lot of blues been played through this thing, and there's a lot of good mojo. So if you like mojo, this is a good amp to play around with. Shipping. I don't want to ship this amp. I mean, I will if I have to, but I don't really want to trust my friends at the post office with something this old and delicate. But I mean, if I have to, I will. You get a much better deal if you happen to be local, and you can drive to Liberty, Mississippi and pick this amp. Of course, you'll get to play it and see if it's something that you're interested in. So if you happen to be local, contact me in the comment section of the video, and then we'll see if I can work a deal with you. Other than that, I don't know what to say other than I'm going to load this video up and see what happens. Put her on Facebook Market page, and if you have any interest, man, contact me and let me know. So thank you for listening to the video. Adios.